All right, so welcome back to the Dynasty Football Maniacs. So last episode we had just a general discussion on the one episode, but we did DLs. We've already did linebackers. Now we're at the final position. So me and Austin is now at the final position for ranking, and then at this point we just want to kind of discuss through the season. Drafting techniques, who we're going to draft in a startup, what does our rookie drafts look like? So we'll have a lot of conversations on that. Who to trade? Austin's already put some of that out there. Who to cut? Because some of you guys on the dynasty will have a full bench, and you have to make room for the rookies. So, what is your most players that are probably not going to be very impactful that you could probably go ahead and let slide back to the waiver wire. So we'll have them discussions after this episode. So we have a lot to cover still for the start of the football, and then plus we'll highlight some of the drafts we're going to be in for our different leagues, which will be exciting because we got a draft coming up for one league soon, and it'll be we call it a new dynasty league that we created called a stack league. So we're creating a draft room for that. So we'll actually discuss that in one of the episodes. So let's start off with our defensive backs. You're going to have to forgive me. I'm not as prepared as I normally am, but that's fine. We can still get through this because that's just how we are. Uh, we did not agree on our number 10. So I'm going to go ahead and I always go with Austin's 10 and then I put my rankings next to him. So his 10 is TJ Tampa that went to the Ravens. So I have TJ ranked number 9.
Hmm.
Um, I do think he's going to do a lot this year. I'm looking at the playing right cornerback. He's playing right behind Stephen Brandon. In defensive players, he could end up getting 30-40% of the snaps and just do extraordinary. So that's the thing. Don't really know what his snap percentage is. I know I had some cornerbacks that I drafted last year that were second string, but they ended up getting 90% of the game, 48% of the snaps. So they did pretty well for me. I was
Well,
a
he,
little higher on them than Austin, but not much higher. I mean, 9 and 10, it's really
he
not that
could
much of a
he could
difference.
also play.
I mean, we weren't too far difference on TJ Tampa. Uh, I had him 9, you had him 10. Definitely think he's going to be a good one to draft. That's why he's in our top 10. Um, I was on the fence with Javian Bowler, which is your number 9. He's not in my top 10, but he is ranked number 15. So I had him outside my top 10. I still ain't drawing him into my top 10, but if you look at my top 20, he is there on 15. So still a recognized player. He did go to the Packers. So yeah, he started right off. Free safety. Ooh, that's a good position too. Free safety. I might need to look at my rankings and decide where I got him at. I put
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Uh, he's got a pretty good landing spot. I might have should have done my
Now,
homework a little bit better on my defensive backs.
see, now I just want to clarify with some people that when it's defensive back, some of these corners can actually play safety, and then some of these safeties can actually play corner. It just depends on the defensive scheme and how the coach wants to utilize that player.
Right. So your number 8 is Mike Strenzel. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Central.
Thank you. I was butchering this poor guy's name. He's from Michigan.
Heck,
Uh,
I probably butchered his name too, so don't feel too bad.
he went to the Commanders. He is my number 10, but he's your number 8. So he definitely made my rankings. I've been watching him, seen him play. Uh, I had a feeling he'd come out as a good cornerback for the NFL. and he's out there.
Yeah, they got him at nickelback.
They got a nickelback starter. Ooh. Oh, that
Yep.
is a good spot. Another one, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
he's in our top 10. I mean, the whole point of having them in your top 10 is they're who they are. I mean, he's definitely gonna. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm more high on the safeties than I am quarterbacks. The cornerbacks, the issues I have with them is some of them are really good and some of them put up a lot of points. But then also teams learn which cornerbacks not to throw the ball to because there's certain ones that are better than others. And if they don't swap back and forth into safeties and they're stuck on a cornerback, I mean, I'm just high. Most of your high scoring defensive backs in fantasy is usually your safeties, is what I'm trying to get to. Simple. Safeties can be very good, but so can cornerbacks. So don't disregard them. I mean, you got to fill a roster up. The depth chart for the Giants, and I got the wrong depth chart. I don't want to look at that Giants team. Here we
He's
go.
actually started.
Yeah, he
He's a
is
strong safety on here.
strong safety. Yes. So that's a very good position. So yeah, I have him ranked number 4. You have him 7. I had him a little bit higher. And then again, like I was talking about how I like safeties a lot more. So I would definitely try to pick him up on my team. The next one, we both agree. Enos Rakeshaw Jr. went to the Lions. Now the thing with the Lions is their group is getting deep. And I mean, when I say deep, that defensive back group is deep. So it's like they have a lot of high good players on that team. Um, I feel like for fantasy wise, kind of eating themselves up. Um, Enos is playing behind Brian Branch in the nickelback. Uh, Brian came out just last year. Wow, Brian was no joke when he came out from Alabama and he played for the Lions. I mean, he took that room over. I mean, instantly. He was really good. Um, there's another good one in there that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Free safeties, loaded. I mean, it's just they just got a good room defensively. I mean, what a team. Huh. CJ Moore, Mosley, my God. All right, enough of them. The next one is your number 5, Kool-Aid McKinstry. He went to the Saints. And I will tell you right now, I am still high on my Kool-Aid.
Yes, you are.
And I don't know why I'm so higher on him than the other guy that came from Alabama, but I am. I have him number 2 on mine. I still could not swap the two guys.
Mm,
Yeah, it's just me. I mean,
mm. Okay.
he's playing left cornerback. I just feel like Kool-Aid McKinstry's the, and we'll get to your number 2 in a minute. So that's funny. I have him ranked number 2. You have cool. We'll just go ahead and get this out of the way, just to say something here. So you ranked Kool-Aid McKinstry 5. I ranked him 2. You ranked Terran
Hmm.
Arnold 2, and I ranked him 5.
Yeah.
That's just so we just swapped that position around. I hate to give away the
Well,
number 2 so early, but it's just kind of neat little number thing. I thought I'd throw that. Uh, so the next one is your number 4, Nate Wiggins for the Ravens. We have talked a lot about the Ravens today. Um, just had them in there. So I have them ranked 3. You have them ranked 4. And then, I mean, he's worth picking up. Just any of these guys I'm naming is going to be good. I'm not. Let's see where he's playing at, position wise.
I think they
So
got him at the
he's
corner.
starter. Yep, starter at
Yep.
corner, left cornerback. I mean, that's going to be a really good position for him. Then the next one is Cooper DeJean for Eagles. So we have the Eagles again. And I have him ranked 8. You have him ranked 3. In all honesty, I should probably take Terran Arnold and put him number 3. And, oh no, I have, okay, yeah. So my number 3 was Nate Wiggins. I don't know, I was looking at that. But Cooper DeJean also went to the Eagles. They're kind of rebuilding that whole defensive back room. He is playing behind Maddox, which I think he'll end up winning that thing, nickelback. Um, definitely interesting. You got Quinion Mitchell there. Then you have Cooper that came in. They also picked up some free agents.
Mm.
But I skipped someone on mine, and I never gave you my number 7. We got running along so far. We just because you don't have
Who's number 7?
my number 7 is an undrafted player. So I picked
Really?
Blue Bo Braid for
Where did he go?
he went to the Ravens. The Ravens took him in.
Oh,
So when Ravens picked him up, he went back on my thing as a safety. So he was picked up as a safety. So it's pretty good. Forgot my number 7. I mean, your number 7 was Tyler Nubin, which he was my number 4. And then we went to number 6, and I was supposed to mention my number 7, and I forgot. So
right.
he landed at the Ravens, and yes, he's third string, but I still believe he's going to have a shot. And the only reason I do is I watched him at Maryland. He ran against Marvin Harris. He's good. He's really good. So a little higher on him than a lot of other people. I guess even higher on him than the pros because he didn't get drafted. So,
Yeah.
so your number 2, which we talked about, was Terran Arnold. He's going to the Lions. He's my number 5. And my number 1 and your number 1 is Quinion Mitchell's for the Eagles. I mean, hands down, he fits that bill. I mean,
Yep.
so it'd be definitely interesting to see what these defensive backs do. Last year, when I was drafting defensive backs, I was worried that I wouldn't see the numbers I was hoping to see because the year before, I just felt like there was so many good defensive backs. And it's funny how that changes. I mean, you don't know who's going to do what. I mean, it could land perfect for you or it don't turn out that great. I mean,
Right.
but I'm high on some of these defensive backs, especially the safeties that are coming out. I'll be definitely keeping my eyes on them. In a draft, a 7-round draft, looking at our experience so far and what I can see, I'll probably end up picking some of these guys up. I mean, probably later in the draft because more people are going to be focused on the offense, but I think a lot of the offensive players are going to be gone by the 3rd round. I mean, what's going to be left on the board, 3rd, 4th round, are basically guys we're going to be putting on a bench or guessing if they're going to play good or not.
Yep.
And that's how it is every year. I mean, so let's look at the tiers. And right now, a lot of places don't have defensive players ranked. So, like when you go to a lot of these fantasy sites, um, it's like they're not up there yet. But that's our top 10 for the defensive backs. And like I have been doing, I've been dropping these as the episodes released. I've been dropping them on our Twitter page or X page. You guys can download these, use them for your drafts. If you like the players, it's helpful to have a list in front of you, especially in a draft room, because you only have so many minutes to pick. You either get a minute, 2 minutes, and sometimes having the player's name written down in front of you, you can type it in quicker, search them up. You pretty much know what your needs are for your team. And that's if you already have a dynasty team built. Now, if you're doing a redraft, you need to have all them lists. You can tier them out on who you want first, and it's your strategy. My strategy has always been is if I'm picking in the first half, and when I say the first half, I'm talking about 101 to the 103 in a startup. If I'm picking a 101 to a 103 in a startup, I'm 100% getting a running back. 100%. If I'm picking 104 to the 108, I'm looking for a quarterback. I am like pretty much all the way to the 112. Quarterback, it really depends on what is there and available. A wide receiver could grab that spot. That's me in the first round.
And that's you in the first round.
I mean, what would you normally pick between the 101 and the 103 in a startup or a redraft?
Um, Wide receiver.
Really? You'd go wide receiver.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, back in the day, yeah, it used to be the running backs that would always get the 101 and stuff. But if you look in the past 3 years now, it's always been wide receiver. I mean, the only way it would be running back if the 101 would literally Christian McCaffrey, but that was last year. But I
You
really
know,
think
I
I
think as
really like the wide
juice,
receivers.
wide receivers are more dominant now.
I mean, it's a passing league. Yes, we're seeing people run the ball a little bit more than we have in the past few years, but it's still a real heavy passing league right now at the moment.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. On running backs right now, I would feel good. I would still stick with that because the 103, I could either have Christian McCaffrey, Brees Hall, Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, Barkley. Where Barkley's going next year, I would probably want Barkley or Christian McCaffrey because I think they would be my two go-to guys. Wide receiver, if that dream comes true, there's conversations and maybe it's just false impressions I'm getting on my phone. And I get a lot of false impressions because sometimes I make them up as I go too. So this one's not made up. This is an article I read today about a possible trade with the Vikings to the Falcons and Justin Jefferson meeting back up Kirk Cousin. That'd be crazy, but I don't think that's
No,
going
I
to
don't.
happen.
That's not going to happen.
So in most rankings, Justin Jefferson has faltered a little. He's dropped like he's still in tier one, but he's number four instead of number one. Your top, and now this is where I have to agree with Austin. There was an explosion last year between two wide receivers, and I will mention them right now. And that's CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill. So it would be kind of hard for me not to jump on that bandwagon because the bandwagon looks very, very good. I mean, very, very good. And both of them are in a better position, honestly, than the other two. The other two are questionable. And when I say no, they're not talented questionable, they're questionable due to the fact that one is Joe Burrow going to come out the gates healthy? Is Joe Burrow going to stay on the thing? Is that going to keep Jamal Chase going? That's who I'm talking about. And then the other one is Justin Jefferson at the Vikings. You got JJ McCarthy and a whole other group of Sam Arnolds. What's going to happen up there? We don't know. So you're knowing, and a lot of people are going to be haters when I say this, but Dak still has it in him. I probably wouldn't draft Dak again because Dak, every time I draft him, he gets hurt. So I can't
I don't
touch him.
know. Yeah, I was gonna say if you didn't have him last year, that's probably the reason why. Because that last year was probably almost probably one of his best years he had.
Yeah, it's one of the years he didn't get hurt. So
So you
every
must
other
have not
year I've
had
had,
him.
no, I didn't have him. I
All
stayed away
right
from
then.
him because the previous 2 years I had him, he got hurt. One year wasn't as bad as the other year. The other year I only had him for 4 games and he went out the whole season. Then the next one, it was like he was out for 6 games. It was like, oh,
Hmm.
so and Tyreek Hill, yes, I know he's a little. I hope he plays with just as much as he did last year, but and I hope this money thing doesn't kill his vibe, but it could possibly do it. And
Nah, it didn't kill his vibe whenever he came from the Chiefs when they gave him that big stack. So I don't think it'll kill his vibe.
I hope not.
I think it's just gonna. I think it's just gonna increase the vibes.
So we stay on defense because we are talking about defense. um, I'm looking at the rankings currently. Like I said, a lot of the leagues and stuff that I've thought like went to don't really have the rookies in there yet. So definitely, I wish they would be a little faster on that, but maybe we could help them out. That's
I
one
mean,
reason. That's one reason why we do the defensive players because we're really big on defensive players. We love playing with the defensive players, and we got to understand what they're going to do just as much as we got to do with the offense. I think the biggest ones that came out in the last couple of years, your obviouses are there in the front. I think the top three we named, well, technically our top five would probably be just as good as any of these guys that you see in tier two, tier three when they come out and play. So it's going to be definitely fun to watch.
oh yeah.
So if you guys like our content, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, the next couple episodes after this is going to be you and me just talking about draft strategies. Who would we draft? I'll try to put some questionnaires together, put them out there on the site, put them on the Twitter page, try to get a feel of the rest of the world on what we're going to do. Go to cut trade, see what's going on there. Like someone asked me the other day, what site do I like the most? And there's a lot of sites out there. And I tried to be fluent on a lot of them. So it's like I'm not just going to one, I'm going to multiple ones to kind of see the difference between them. Like there's some sites that before I didn't like, but now I like more. And Austin introduced me to a site this year, PFF. I really like that site. That's actually a pretty good site. Fantasy Pros is out there. You got the NFL Plus. They have their stuff on there. And then there's Razzball. That's a pretty good one out there. I like that. Cut trade. It's basically people's opinions. It's not based on talent. It's what everybody's doing. It's the IDP. But all of them's doing that. All of them's doing it draft position. But what I like about some of these sites, you can go there and get some of the statistics, and I am all about the statistics. So I look for the players with that statistics and try to go to that one. So do you have anything else, Austin?
Well, I'm just gonna repeat most of the things you said. Is hit that like button. We need that like button to go up a lot more. Make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section because we would love to interact with y'all and we would love to answer any of your questions if you have any questions of what you think we might want to do on things. And don't forget to share because sharing is caring.
That is right. Sharon is Karen.